Welcome to Finance Committee meeting. It is Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. First item on the agenda is a food service management update from Mrs. Schaller. We do have information that the board has received, and you should see it in your executive documents. Committee has made privy to. The conversation is going to be a request from the department that do need to propose a lunch price increase across the board. So she'll speak to the how much and the why, and then if anybody has any questions.
Okay, thank you, Karen. All right, so the RFP for food services, the RFP was advertised on March 20th, and it was advertised in ngn.com and the Home News Tribune newspaper, and proposals were due on April 12th. I would like to just share that the current school year 22-23, the food services are performing very well financially. And it's with great pride that I share that with you. One proposal was received, and that was from Met's Culinary Management, our
This is the
incumbent.
current.
Yes. Food service management company. For the 23-24 school year, I'll go right to the financials for you. The two documents that Ms. Berman mentioned is a proposed lunch comparison. For this is the current prices, and Metz is proposing a 10-cent increase. But you can see on this other one that's called Form 24, and I'm sorry for the small font, it's a state form that we compare what was in the RFP versus what the company has proposed, the financials. So right to the financials for the 23-24 school year, Metz is projecting income from the program to be 2.833,496.38. That's $2,833,496.38, and that would be minus the cost of the contract. Total cost of the contract to be $2,702,666.54, which includes the management fee of $77,000. That would provide a unlimited guarantee to the district of $130,000. And to do that, they have requested a 10 cents increase. The form that looks like this, the lunch comparison price form, does show you that Monroe, our price is versus the surrounding area. So on average, we're 54 cents lower in elementary price, 66 cents lower in the middle school price, and over $1 lower is our price for the high school lunch. I spoke briefly about our successes, and something I'd like to add to the agenda for tonight. We'll put an email. We couldn't have these strong financials without all the great accomplishments we attained this school year. And another item that I'm going to include will be something called School Cafe. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of it, but nurses and parents have this is something we implemented this year through Metz, and it's been a great tool for parents with children with allergies, or just to see sugars, fats, nutritional content of food. Very easy, user-friendly. It's on my phone. You just click the app and you get all the information about all our menus.
So your recommendation to us that our consideration here at committee and vote on for next week would be a 10-cent increase, which would take the elementary to 265, the middle to 270, and the high school to 275.
Yes.
So that's the board business that we would be considering and then voting on next week. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I'm satisfied that the increase is justified, and I don't think there's going to be any. I didn't know we were way cheaper than anybody else.
We have been for a long time.
Oh my goodness, that way, which is
That is true.
good and something that, we've always been able to say.
Fantastic.
And we'll still be able to say that.
Yes, we still are.
So does anyone have any questions?
So those accomplishments you're gonna share?
Yes, but I'm going to share them online.
Online.
That's wonderful. That's great. Just one question, let's speak to the request for proposal and that there was just the one
Yes,
bid that came in, and if we feel in the future that there's any different avenue we can go, or something that we should be doing differently to attract other bidders, or if this is
Okay.
just kind of the standard, we don't know, yeah.
Well, it's a 5-year contract with annual renewal, so each year, there's that opportunity, but we don't go out for RFP. But if you weren't happy, if we weren't happy with them, or if they weren't happy with us, we go out for RFP. But I understand what you're saying, that we advertise, the minimum is 20 days, we advertise for 21 days, and we used njn.com.
That's what I wanted to ask you, how do you advertise? Like, what is the protocol of advertising to
Sure.
make sure that we get it out there?
Nancy Teckler-Farrell put the RFP out, and the RFP it's a shell, it's boilerplate from the state.
Okay,
So everyone's putting out the same RFP, so to speak, except for our particulars, as you can see the comparison. How many meals we serve would be a little different from what Jamesburg or Nalpin may serve or whatever. But that's it.
it goes to
out.
NJ,
NJN, New Jersey, NJN.com, and the Home News Tribune newspaper.
Now, historically, in the last few rounds of this, has that been the cadence of having one bidder come back, or no?
You know, I can't speak to the last one. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I could find out if you like, but I don't.
Just curious. I always get a little
I
nervous
know
when
that-
there's one hat in the ring,
I know there was there at one
but that
time,
could be.
it was Pomptonian, they were the.
Oh, I remember
and it was
them.
Mets.
Yes.
Pomptonian and Mets. But I'm not sure prior to that. And I think that was the 17, this time in 2017.
Right, so now.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. They came in 2013. And it
Mm-hmm.
says that in my accomplishments too.
So it's, the contract would be for 5 years, but renewable each year.
Annual renewals this time every year, yes.
Anyone else, any questions?
When I Googled it, I got one company that came up, and that was Mets.
Yeah.
I have a quick question about price increase.
Okay.
So it's a 5-year contract, which allows them to remain with us for 5 years, but the annual renewal allows us the out clause. But my question is, will they raise prices every year, or will it be 5 years, will it be the same price?
No, we'll discuss that and see if it's needed when we do the projection of cost, because costs go up every year. Especially in this environment. One of the things I handed out was the CPI index, just to show that it's 8%. I mean, a few years ago, I think, Laura, you might be able to say the CPI used to be about not even 1%, 0.8. Then it went to like 1.2, then to 3, then to 4. Last year it was 7. Now it's 8. Yeah, so that has an effect on everything. The cost of food, the cost of fuel, the cost of, so our costs do go up. It doesn't mean meal prices go up. We can have this discussion and negotiate that.
No, I meant the
Thing
cost,
next
no, I didn't mean the meal price. I meant the way Mets works out the financials, so that in the end, we're at 130,000. Will they change their costs that then are put on us?
Oh, you
That
mean
was
their
my question.
management fee?
Yes,
Well, it's based on, they have the right, any management company, Pomptonian,
Right.
Aramark, any of them, they have the right to ask for as much as the CPI index.
okay. I was
In
just
this
curious.
case, I think it's a very modest increase.
Consider
As
it.
you know, they're about 75,000, they're at 74,900 and change, and they're asking for 77. So you do the math, it's 2.7%. So
Right.
pretty modest.
Okay, just curious,
That's a good question.
just curious. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, that's
That was
all. Okay,
great.
have a nice
Thank you.
evening. I'll be sending the accomplishments. Bye, Laura. Bye. Thank you. Bye, Adam.
And sticking with the theme of, unfortunately, we have to raise rates. We'll now shift to Ms. Paul and speak about Falcon Care and ECE. So on this one, the proposals that are coming in front of the board, consider at the committee level and then vote on next week for next year, would be in the current structure. The kindergarten program is flexible to a 3-day, a 4-day, a 5-day choice. The proposal is to enforce a 5-day program because it wreaks too much havoc with transportation and with staffing. And also see an increase there. And then in the health and care, that's still, it's an increase, but no changes in the programming. Okay, so you want to speak to the
Sure.
details of it?
So I believe we have not raised prices for ECE or before and after care in about 4 years. So I was looking in the local towns and I saw that Old Bridge made a raise of $20 on their programs. We're still in range with East Brunswick. If you look at, if we raise our prices by $20 across the board with all of our programs, for 5 days a week morning care, that really only comes out to $8.15 per day. East Brunswick charges $167 and we would be charging $163 for morning care. We are a little more expensive for aftercare for East Brunswick, but all of their schools have different dismissal times. Our dismissal times are pretty much across the board the same for the elementary schools. And we would be charging $360. East Brunswick charges $292, but that comes out to about $18 a day for parents to have 3.5 or 3 hours of aftercare. For ECE, raising prices, we would go from what was once $473 a month. We're going to just raise it by $20 and go up to $493 per month, and that comes out to about $24.65 per day for parents. Now, another reason we wanted to reduce the times, to make the days go to 5 days a week for ECE is for the consistency for the children. A lot of times when we have special events or something exciting happening and a child only comes twice a week, they say, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss this, I'm going to miss that. So we allow them to switch their days. But I also feel that, if you ask any of our parents whose children have gone to ECE or are currently in ECE, they love it. They want to come more. So I think it also would be beneficial for them socially, emotionally, and academically to be there for the 5 days so they don't miss certain events that are going on.
Could you speak to the status of the licensing?
The licensing, my application is filled out. I have a new person that's going to come and check us out. She should be there hopefully by June. And then before September, ECE will finally be a state licensed center, which means we will be able to accept subsidy from families that are in need, because we don't have full day kindergarten. Parents really want it and need it. So for the families that are in financial need, they will be able to come to our program with assistance from the state, and also we'll get grants from the state to help grow our programs.
Okay.
So we should be definitely all set by the fall.
And then any other opportunities that you're looking at, changes in programming or whatever that?
Well, we are self-funded, and even if we are just breaking even this year, we're not sure, but it's pretty much how it's going to be. For Falcon Care, I've been talking to the administrators at the other schools. I want to try to bring in like the robotics or chess, utilize our high school students to help. We want this program to be a place that the children want to go, not have to go. So I've been talking to all the principals, Dr. Lehman, Zach. We're going to try to get stuff under Falcon Care, because one of the principals said to me, I have this really good program, but it's hard because I can't get staff to stay till 6 o'clock or later. And I said, I have the staff there. Let's take on these programs. So that would be definitely a way to earn more money for the town, because once we're successful, we can put that money back into the school systems. And I'm hoping we can just tap into the talents that we have here, and even within our students. The high school students are amazing. I love working with them. I do theater outside of this job, and I always try to grab as many high schoolers as I can. I think they'll get their hours that they need for graduation, and they'll do some good work with the students we currently have. So that's my goal.
Any questions from the committee concerning what the board business would be? So the board business would be a recommendation to increase the rates. And the 5-day rather than 2 or 3. See.
Yes, and also we were looking at possibly raising the rates for our teachers. Our teachers get a starting salary and they are certified teachers, and that's what the public would expect for the other half of the day. They're only starting at 35,000. And we really want to look at being able to draw in very talented teachers, not just people that are passing through, you know, just to get into Monroe's door. We want to retain these teachers and get them to be part of our programming. So we definitely need to look at teacher salary and our Falcon Care, because we're losing Falcon Care people left and right because we're only paying them $15 or $16 an hour.
The staff there is in that category of non-affiliate?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we do raise those rates, I'm hoping to promise you that we can bring in the revenue to cover that. And we are certainly not costing the taxpayers any money yet, and we don't want to ever. So we want to make our program so fabulous and so awesome that everybody comes, everybody pays, and everybody benefits, especially the students, from what I'm hoping to offer them in the future.
The ECE piece is the part of it where you have sort of a cap on how many kids you can take, or no?
Well, if I could get more teachers,
We could open
I
another
could get
class.
more students. I
Alright.
have 2 empty classrooms that I use for lunchtime, but I could still, if we took in 2 more teachers, I could open those classrooms.
And how about on the Falcon Care side, do you have any limitations
No.
on enrollment or no?
Mm-mm. And we would love it to be bigger and better.
I just want to say that I think it's great what you're doing. We're very excited to hear that we're going to get the state certification. I think that's a big deal. And I think the Falcon Care program, you know, historically, many years ago, we brought in an outside company to do it. And then, you know, years later, they decided that maybe we should be running it because the revenue should be coming to us. And then this is growing into something so much better and developing into such a better program that it's not just after-school daycare. I think there's a huge potential for students that do have parents at home that don't have to go to an aftercare program. But if we're going to be developing these where they're going to be doing really meaningful activities like offering chess and offering different kinds of activities and bringing, you know, high school students in, or even bringing in, you know, outside vendors in, I definitely think that it will be something that parents are excited about, to have their kids do that after school, because we do hear sometimes, you know, community parents expressing, can't we have clubs at the elementary level? Can't they do something after school? You know, why don't we have any extracurriculars? And this would satisfy that.
I would do anything. Send me your ideas. Parents, if you're watching this video, send me ideas. You can find Falcon Care and ECE on the Monroe website. You know, I'm willing to try anything. I just need the staff to help me to make my vision, you know, come to fruition.
If I may, because I have to just say, you know, since the time that we've worked together, I just have to compliment her and just tag on to what Ms. Kirby said. I have to compliment Ms. Corallo. She's always thinking out of the box. She calls, she emails. When we have, no, please do. When we have situations with certain families, only a few, but very, very sad situations, when we're fortunate like we are, we always want to remember those that are dealing with hard times. And she has come to me and said, can we do this? Can we do that? And then she said, if you would like, I can go ahead and fill out the state application. And then we discussed it with Laura, I discussed it with Adam, and we were so excited because we want to be able to help everyone. And not everyone is afforded the opportunity to be able to have the financial resources to be able to pay. So I want to just say kudos to you. You go above and beyond always with your ice cream socials and everything else you do. And you really do a great job, and keep on doing it. And we'll still think out of the box as much as we can.
Yes.
So any other ideas, she'll take them.
Any ideas?
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry sometimes if I email a little too much.
No,
But I get
never.
so
I love it.
excited.
No, and she does. She has great ideas. So that's what we could do. And I do agree. I was here when we had the outside organizations, and I was also here when people weren't happy that we no longer had that outside organizations. But then we've created our own, and since you've taken over the program, it's really, it's moving forward. It takes time, and it's like a garden, right? It takes cultivating.
Yes, and we have to look at it now, as I know that it brought in a lot of income before, but now this is a whole new world. Parents have figured out where to put their kids, so now
They
it's
work from
not.
home, they don't know what to
Yeah,
work.
there's so much remote work going on, so now this has to become more of a recreation piece and not just a care piece. Of course, the care is there for the families who need it, but let's get some really exciting things there for the kids. I talk to the kids all the time. I go to visit aftercare and I write down all of their ideas. Some of their ideas are amazing and something that we might not be able to get to yet, but I'll do my best.
They want us to go to the moon? No.
We'll try. We'll try. I don't know.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you,
Thank
everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
The next item on the agenda is the monthly review of the attorney fees. The monthly review of the attorney fees, so it's February 2023. The total there is $22,458.50. And as usual, did have an ask that we come back with, I know we don't have the information tonight, how many districts there are in the state and how many of them are using in-house attorneys versus out-of-house attorneys, as we start to look at the renewal piece for the legal services for the board for next year.
Mhm.
So we want to make sure we're gathering
Yeah.
information.
That's something
and
we already
Making sure
started.
that we're making the right
Did you go with
considerations for the go forward.
Looks like she may have the information
Yeah,
already.
I did reach out to some organizations. It's not something just that we've been able to find just out there.
Yeah,
I did check with school boards and they said very few districts have an in-house. It's
Okay.
usually the larger ones like Newark and actually Cheyenne,
Oh, thank you.
Camden, Jersey City, but most of them don't. And I think it's part of it's because, well, it's there's just so much, like you have to have the knowledge perspective, like the different areas of specialties you really need. So it's kind of nice to have that all in one. So there really doesn't seem to be a lot. The only thing, I started, you can go almost district by district to see. So far, I've not found anyone in Middlesex, but I haven't found just a place where it just has it all.
When we were doing the interviews, I mean, we were told, that there were 8, yeah, that there were only 8 districts.
Six hundred and thirty-two or 627, whatever our number is. I'd have to piggyback on what she just said. I think it's very important to note that because of the areas of specialty, and I know from when we deal with different attorneys. The other thing is when we had an in-house attorney who I dealt with on a personal basis as a principal, she would do some of the work, but then there were still outside attorneys that you hired. So you had an internal person that you're paying a salary and health insurance and benefits and so forth. And then that individual may not have been the one that we were dealing with. And I think that's important to note.
Right, and if you look over the years, it's ranged in the, from 200,000, well, mid 200,000s to, there was a high in the year that we had both. We had the in-house and the she left, and then we had Corsair. So it has been in the 200,000s, whether we had in-house or outside, because of
Double,
there's
double,
because double and nothing.
double, yeah.
Yeah. So we're not like that far out of line.
So the timing on the renewal is June?
Yeah.
So we bring it to the May finance meeting.
I guess, does it start in finance? I don't know how that one works, because it's not the superintendent's recommendation, it's a board resolution to continue the.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I guess it's.
I don't know that it
So
emanates
finance,
from
because it wouldn't be
a specific committee or not, I don't know.
Oh, you could just
I don't
bring it,
recall.
it doesn't have to even go to finance, you might just bring it to the whole board.
I mean, it's
I think it
definitely a
comes from
board
finance,
resolution, but
We talk about in finance about the,
some due
costs
diligence
and-
on the
yeah,
costs
yeah.
that we're looking at, yeah. We're not just hitting the button and saying, continue.
So we don't have.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the
We
monthly.
have to make sure that Corsio wants to continue with us. I mean, let's not, we can't assume that they want to continue with us. Now,
Then
I
they want
think
to
for the
jump ship.
entertainment value alone, I think they would love to stay here, but
This does seem for.
I know, unprofessional, excuse me, with a side comment.
The next item is the monthly review of the bill list. So it was provided a day or so ago.
the due diligence that I typically do as the chair of the finance committee and picked out a few random items, asked for the backup and was satisfied in the only thing I saw, other than what I would consider a crazy cost of what we spend on the wall cloths.
We spend crazy money on wall clocks.
I felt like that was crazy numbers, like $150 a piece.
Oh, that's because they're supposed
And
to
they're not
work
that special.
What-
They
what
were
is-
just
what is it,
salary costs, things, sight things,
site sync.
but,
With these, right, these spots here.
yeah, like anyone's even ever using
If
them.
we want to talk about getting rid of the wall clocks, I'm fine. I'm actually fine with that, to be
I
honest.
use that one over there.
It's interesting, because definitely in your home, right? I don't know if they tie into any other systems, if they're part of drills or bells that go off there,
I
that
can
may
ask.
become a thing that you need in a
So let me-
industrial.
Are you aware of
educational
anything?
environment.
Some of the buildings, the clocks are 100% related to
A lot of
bells,
stuff.
like
Yeah,
dismissal bells and things like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm gonna ask, I like the idea of thinking, if we're gonna pay the expense, it should provide something above and beyond what a regular clock does, so why shouldn't I?
You mean, you want more
If
than,
they need to, I don't.
I'm sorry, I'm in a mood tonight.
Well, that's because we had such a successful, the best ever.
Oh, the
curriculum
curriculum
meeting.
meeting was
That's
awesome.
exceptional.
Oh my God, it was so much fun.
The bill list is $2,842,827.36, and as is typical, we would expect an amendment sometime Tuesday-ish, whatever. so
We have no
that-
school on Friday, so
Right.
the packets will go out on Thursday, so you might even have more of an amendment, because we're gonna put one last day.
Good, so, we'll have the same thing there, but we don't expect any major surprises.
I got a curiosity question about the court. There's several checks to this court officer, and I'm just wondering, like, what's
Usually
that?
garnish.
That's the garnishment when people.
Oh.
You have to take it out of their
About that.
salary.
Okay,
And that's sometimes the stuff that I sign ahead of time, because there's certain dates
Yeah.
of the month that it has to be there.
right,
Yeah.
okay. I
And it's
didn't make
not
the connection.
negotiable.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, now I make the connection, court, okay.
Yeah, the clocks were $162 a piece.
I'm looking into those clocks first thing tomorrow. I'm gonna look into them.
All right, so any questions on the bill list, any reason committee would not recommend approval?
We're good?
And last item is most important item, it is the update on the budget. So we'll have the final hearing on the budget at next week's meeting. Committee was provided with, and the board has access to the final schedules, which look the same as the preliminary schedules. For the most part, you can speak to if there were any changes. I know we changed some formatting
The
things, but
format's
number
different.
wise.
Numbers, yeah, the only thing we changed was after the, budget hearing, in the preliminary budget presentation in, March was, to increase, architects' fees, and
I'm sorry?
we did a change with the architects' fees and, a couple of other line items, to balance. I mean,
Offset
it didn't increase or decrease the budget. Yeah, so.
You wanna come closer? Michelle? I know they have they're doing the I know there's outside noise with the landscapers. If you wanna sit over here so you can hear better.
The public can hear your voice.
The owls pick up
Oh,
everything.
those things
They
pick
pick
up.
up your crocky knuckles, and it sounds like.
If you wanna come closer, you're more than welcome to.
Scoot your chair up, it might help you. She never has to ask me to speak louder.
No, I didn't.
No, no one ever does.
So, but everything, the revenues, everything else, you'll see is the same. It's just, a little different format, similar to what we've done before. And the state
Thank you,
aid
Ellen.
schedule is in there showing the state aid over the 10, 12 years.
Saw that, thank you for that.
Yes,
Mhm.
now, so as far as access to board members and the public and for the night of the hearing, so in advance, it's published as part of the agenda when that's available to the public, all of this data will be there with it.
Yeah.
As
That would be on Monday, I would assume,
things the
correct?
public can see,
Yes.
okay, and then we'll have.
Accomplish
hard
what?
copies
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely.
Well,
We've been trying to make You know, we don't want to be wasteful, but we also want everybody to feel comfortable that they have access to a copy.
Right.
So we go between the 40, 50, 30, you know, depending. because
We have a
just
lot of
don't know what
parents
the
coming, so they may pick up the,
Yeah, that's just
because we
good.
have a lot of people.
Yes,
a
we
lot of
do.
Students being recognized, so we probably should have.
That's on our first
A
batch.
lot of,
Okay.
So now,
We can make sure
concerning the agenda on Wednesday,
Wednesday.
are the student presentations,
We always like to do them first,
okay?
because it's respectful to parents.
Then we'll do budget presentation. There's not really a presentation other than the hearing on the most part.
We won't do another PowerPoint presentation, but of course, the public has the right to come up and ask
So-
questions.
But
and
it's
so
a
forth.
separate agenda item like it was for the preliminary hearing.
Yes, it has to be,
Stand
right,
alone.
for public, right, absolutely.
Okay. Any questions?
Oh, man.
Any issues? No, okay. Anything you'd like to add on the budget? We're good?
Thank you for all your help. That's
There
always
was
been,
another item about, and meant to formally add it to the agenda, but didn't get around to it. But item 6 is gonna be the audit update, which we keep it there now. At this point, the audit is complete, but you kinda, it's like painting on George Washington Bridge. We like roll right into it as soon as we finish painting, it's time to start again. As with everything, we don't just assume we're gonna use the same company, assume that we're doing anything the same next year. So if there's a recommendation to go out for bid or to relook at this, certainly when the time is right for that, make sure we're
Okay.
addressing it.
Yes, yeah, I think it's, it's a good idea. I know that, there'll be, they did mention they would have to raise their prices, the ones that would have. So it's not a bad idea to go out and see, what's out there.
So Mrs. Tagliaferro will prepare the same type of
Yep.
RFP that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Now that one, because it's for professional services, doesn't need board business in advance for going out.
No, I don't believe so, but, so we'll bring it, to you once we get, just like with, the food service contract.
Okay, got it.
Okay, good.
Okay. And then,
That's good. We're gonna raise the prices and we have to look at all options.
Absolutely, what's out there, right?
Sure.
We may only get them back, or.
We may only,
Listen.
they may run too.
never know.
You never know, so, gotta be open for everything.
All right. Nobody has anything
Anybody know
else?
their CPA?
Do know some of the, but they do have to be education.
Oh, they do have to be education certified. Just check.
All right. If
No.
nobody has anything else, that concludes our finance committee meeting.